Okay, so this is going to be a review, a how-to guide on how to do our spring sky graphing project. So just for reference, that way you know, I'm not going to do the entire graphing project. Okay, all of these coordinates I'm going to leave to you. I'm going to cover most of this section right here. Cassiopeia, Gemini, Auriga, Taurus, Perseus, Orion, Cepheus, Ursa Minor, Draco, Ursa Major, and we'll see if I get to everything else. So, the problem with this coordinate plane that a lot of people seem to have trouble with is the fraction coordinates. The fraction coordinates are not that bad, but a lot of you guys who keep asking me in class seem to still have trouble with some of them. So we'll start with Cassiopeia, which is going to be located somewhere over here. Now, the first coordinate is 0, 4. So remember, we're going to be, let me write this over here. We're going to be following that the first number tells us left or right. Right numbers are positive, left numbers are negative. And the second number tells us whether to go up or down. Down is negative, up is positive. And if the first number is 0, that means we don't go left or right. We stay in the middle, and then we go up to 14. There's the first point. Second point is at 1, 14 and a half. So 1 over, and then 14, sorry, recording this during the school day, so the bells are going to interrupt. So we go 1 over, and then 14 and a half up. And this point is going to be between two of our lines. It's going to be between 14 and 15. All right? Our third coordinate is at 1.5 and 13. So this time we go 1.5 over. So 1.5 over. And then 13 up, which would be right here. And we need to make sure we're connecting as we go, because unlike all of the other graphing projects we've done, these are not going to form super clear or concrete shapes. We're literally plotting the night sky, stars and constellations you can see in the springtime in the northern hemisphere. So there is that. Our fourth point is at 2.5, 13. So 2.5, 13. We're just basically going to go straight over. And our last point is at 3, 12. So normal 3, normal 12. Right here. And that is Cassiopeia. All right, there's our first constellation. Second constellation we're going to do is going to be Gemini. So Gemini is going to be located somewhere around here. Our first coordinate is at 15, 1. So we go 15 over and 1 up. Second coordinate is at 15, 2. So 15 over and 2 up. Next coordinate, our third one for Gemini, is 13 over and then 1.5 up. So 13 over and 1.5 up right here. I almost forgot to be connecting these as I went. Our fourth point is at 12, 1.5. So 12 over and 1.5 up. From there is 10, 2. So 10 over and 2 up. Followed by, I think it is 10, 3. So 10 over and 3 up. Okay. Next is 13, 3.5. So we go 13 over, and then we go 1, 2, 3.5 going up. Next up is 15, 4. That is 15 over and 4 up. And our last coordinate is at 15.5, 4.5. So 15.5 and then 4.5. So it's going to be right here. Not even on a line. It's just going to be right there in the middle. And that is Gemini. All right. So we've got Cassiopeia and Gemini. Next up, I know I'm probably saying these constellations wrong, but let's see, Auriga is going to be somewhere around here. It's going to end up being connected to Taurus. So Auriga is at 11.8 is the first one. So 11 over and 8 up. That's right here. Second point is at 11.5, 10. So we go 11 and 1/2 over, and then we go 10 up. So right here. Third point is at 15.5, 10. So 15.5 and then up 10. So it should be just straight over. From there, we've got 16.8. So we're going to go 16 over and 8 up. That should be right about here. After that is 13.7.5. So 13 over and then 7 1/2 up right here. And the last coordinate says 11.8, which is actually the first coordinate we did. And all it means when we have a repeating point, a point that we've already done earlier, is we'll just continue and connect whatever point came before. And that's Auriga. Okay. Next up is going to be Taurus. Taurus is going to be, let's see. Taurus is going to be connected to Auriga. It's actually going to be 2 lines is what we're going to form. That's going to make Taurus. So the first coordinate is at 20.10. So that means we go 20 over, and then we're going to go 10 up. So it'll be right here. And our second coordinate is at 16.8. So 16 over and then 8 up. That point already exists, so we're just going to connect it. Good. And in the directions for Taurus, it has those 2 coordinates, and then it's going to say stop. So that means those 2 lines are connected, and then these 2 lines are connected, but we're not going to connect them to each other. Okay? They're going to stay separate. So going back over here, the second section is 28. So 20 and then 8 up, which is right here, followed by 17.6. So 17 over and 6 up right here. And that's it. Those 2 lines are Taurus. Okay? After that is going to be Perseus. And Perseus, let's see, let me go back to pink here. So Perseus is going to start at 16.13. It's going to be way up here. So let me scoot the paper down. Perseus is going to be up here, kind of above Auriga. So 16 over, 13 up. So 16 over and then 13 up, which is right here. Followed by, let's see, the next one is going to be 14.12. So 14 over and 12 up. Connect those. Next up is 12.12. So 12 over, 12 up. The next point will be 11.13. So 11 over and 13 up. Followed by 10 over and 13.5 up. So 10 over and then 13.5 going up. And then, just like Taurus, it says stop, and it has 2 more coordinates. So we're going to stop there, and our next point is going to be at 13.15. So 13 over and 15 up right here. And then our next point is going to be 11.13. So 11 and 13 is this one. So we're going to reconnect to this dot, not the one on the end, but the one second from the end. And that's Perseus. Okay. So here are our first few constellations, our first 5. From here, we're going to go ahead and plot Orion. And I'm going to keep using this pen for right now because Orion is very, very short. Orion starts at 21, so 20 over and 1 up. Our second point is 19 and then 2. So Orion would go here next. And then would finish at 20 and then 3. So Orion is pretty short. All right, we're going to set aside this pen and go back to like green. So this next one is going to be Cepheus, and this is going to be the first one that's going to be over here in quadrant 2. All right, so the first couple coordinates are going to be negative and then positive. So it'll end up somewhere over here. The first coordinate is at -2, 13. So we go -2 and then 13. Right here. Okay? After that is going to be 0, 11. So 0 for the first number, 11 for the second number would be right here. All right. After that is -2.5, 11. So we're going to go -2.5 and then up 11. So right here. After this piece is going to be -5, 12. So 5 to the left and then 12 up. All right there. Next is -4.5, 14. So we go 4.5, then we're going to go up by 14, right up here. After this is, let's see, that was -4.5, 14. After that is -4, 14. So -4, 14. It's basically right next to that other point. Then we have -2, 13. So -2 and then up 13. Looks like we already have that point, so that just means we're connecting. And then our last point is at -2.5, 11. So -2.5, 11. Again, that point already exists, so that means we're just connecting to the point from before. And that is Cepheus. All right. After that is going to be Ursa Minor, aka the Little Dipper. So the Little Dipper is going to be pretty close to like this middle section. It'll be a little bit below Cepheus and Cassiopeia. The first coordinate is at 0, 9.5. So 0 and then 9.5. So it'll start right here. Our second coordinate is at -1, 9.5. So -1 and 9.5. Right there. Afterwards is going to be -1 and 3/4 and 9. So here's how that's going to look. So -1 is right here. -1/2 would be like right about here, like between -1 and -2. Well, -1 and 3/4 would just be right around here. It would be between -1.5 and -2. So that's about where we want it to line up, and it's going to go up by 9. So should end up right about here. Really, really close to the 2 line, not quite in the halfway section. Okay? After that is -2, 8. So we go -2 and then up 8. Next up is going to be -2, +7. So -2, 7. Straight down. Then is -2 and 3/4, 7. So -2 and 3/4. So we know that's right around here, close to the 3. And 7. So that is right about here. After that is -2 and 3/4, 8. So -2 and 3/4 and then 8. So pretty much straight up from there. And then it says -2, 8, which that point already exists, which means we are just connecting them. And that's it. This is the Little Dipper, Ursa Minor. Ursa Minor, right here. Next up is going to be Draco, and Draco is going to be, I think, it is the largest constellation that's going to be here in Quadrant 2. Draco is going to start somewhere around here. It's going to loop up, down, and back around this way. So Draco is going to be kind of a long one, which makes sense because I think Draco means something along the lines of dragon. So for Draco, we're going to start, let's see. You know what? Actually, to make sure this doesn't go too long, I'm going to record this in 2 parts. So this is the end of part 1. We went up to Ursa Minor. Next time I'll go a little bit farther and see how much more we can do. But hopefully this will be enough to get you started.